Hi guys, welcome to week 15 of Connects You. And this is the first of several topics that are going to have to do with career and college readiness that the state of Pennsylvania would like everybody to try to do more of and learn more about. And this is going to start at kindergarten and run the whole way through 12th grade so that you guys feel more prepared and that you've been exposed to more college and career readiness activities. So for today's activity, it's entrepreneurship. Your weekly objective for the week, we would like you to be able to say, I can evaluate the needs and wants of my local community to identify an entrepreneurial venture that could be successful in my community. So first off, you have to start with what is an entrepreneur? And basic definition, an entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses. But the most important part here is the second half, taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. So it's important to know that it's not synonymous with a small business owner. And what makes it different is that amount of risk that they're taking. So we're going to look into a little bit more detail of how they differ. So again, entrepreneurs are not the same as small business owners. Small business owners, they have great ideas. So what they typically do is they solve a problem in their community. They see something that is needed by their customers. They know it's going to make them happy. And then they serve those customers. And they just kind of continue that as their status quo. They hold steady. They like to know what's coming. They like to know where it's coming from. They make very calculated decisions based off their numbers from the previous couple years. They plan for the week. So they tend to do things on a daily or weekly basis and not really be thinking too future focused. And they're very sentimental. A lot of times small business owners are not planning to sell their business unless it's passed down to family. That's pretty much what they plan to retire from and pass down to their kids and their kids. So it's much more close to the heart. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, they have big ideas. Not only are these ideas great, they're huge. Okay, so they dream big. These ideas have not been tested or worked through, and sometimes they don't even know if their ideas are possible, but that just kind of gets them even more excited about the idea, and then they obsess over it and just keep trying. They love risk. So instead of holding steady, they love risk. They jump in with both feet, knowing if they put in their full effort, the results could be huge. They like to plan about 6 months ahead. So they're focused more on the future. They hire somebody else that's going to take care of the day-to-day things, and then they have their head in the clouds thinking of how to make their company great. And they're focused on scaling. They want to continue to grow. They're not content with being just some small business. They want to continue to grow it and grow it. So if you needed to put a picture to represent the two, small business owners, if they were to jump in a pool, they're going to kind of test the waters and take the safe route with little risk. Whereas entrepreneurs, they're just going to go full send. So Forbes has outlined the top 10 qualities of an entrepreneur. And I just want to kind of go over a couple of these. So business focus. These people base decisions on the potential to turn a profit. So the bottom line is they want to make money. They're confident, they know themselves well, and they can read others. They're creative thinkers. They can turn an existing product into something better. They're delegators, and what that means is they're content. They will pass out tasks. They know that they're not going to have to try to do it all. They are willing to hire people to do other things and not have to take on too much for themselves. They're also determined. They can battle through difficult obstacles. They're independent, and how they mean that here is that they're going to do whatever it takes to succeed in the business. They're knowledge seekers. They constantly hunt down information that will keep them and the business growing. They're promoters. They're spokespersons for their business, so whether it be social media or whatever, they're getting the name of their business out there and trying to grow so that they can turn a profit. They're relationship builders. They have high social intelligence. They're good with people. They're very good at getting people to want to work for them. And lastly, they're risk takers. So they have good instincts that tell them kind of which high risk situations are going to be possibly the most fruitful. So what I found interesting was that some of these top 10 qualities of an entrepreneur are actually really needed to be good self-directed learners in a cyber program. So if you guys can start to get better at some of these, you never know what the future holds for you. And lastly, what I wanted to do was how to think like an entrepreneur. So the basic premise that Google follows and a lot of tech companies is the 10x thinking module. And what that means is that true innovation happens when you try to improve something by 10 times rather than by 10%. So Google always tells their employees, think of something and how can you improve it by 10 times? because the true innovation is what happens in the middle. So rather than trying to say, I want to improve this by 10%, yeah, that makes it better. But think about how excellent it could be if it was 10 times better. So a 10 times goal forces you to rethink an idea entirely. It pushes you beyond existing models and forces you to totally reimagine how to approach it. So an example of this was the self-driving car model. When they started that, it sounded crazy, but they put it on paper. They thought of how self-driving cars could eventually just not need any human interaction, and how it would really benefit people and just be a safer route than having a bunch of people driving because of human error. So it sounded crazy at the time, but that was one of the 10X thinking projects, and it's now coming into fruition. So your activity for this week, what I would like you to do is go back into the Google Classroom and complete the activity that's there. And what that is, it's going to be determining if and how you exhibit some of the traits of successful entrepreneurs.